boy. Okay. Welcome back to another YouTube episode. I haven't done one of these in a long time, and honestly, I'm scared to go back and look at my old YouTube videos because I know that they're just not me, and I don't like that. It feels gross to look at something that you've done in the past and know that it's just not you because you were consuming so much more than you were ever creating. And that's why I stood up quickly and I came over here and grabbed my camera because I got locked. I got sucked into the frickin' doom scrolling universe, and I started consuming so much more than I know I should be. So here we are. Today I went out to the pool and I grabbed my handy dandy notebook and I took a look inside and I wrote down goals for the month of June. It is now July 2026. It's actually the end of July 23rd, 2026. And I wrote goals for the month of June. Take a look at that. Boom. Okay, that said month of June. And the way that I do this, I have 10 different categories: business, creativity, fitness, social media, peripheral income, continuing education, faith, relationship, financial, and personal. And I'm just gonna flip through these real quick and show you. You see all those red X's? That's what I didn't get done, and all those blue circles, that is what I got done. Obviously, I didn't do enough. And one of the things I did not do enough of was post a damn YouTube video. That has been on my goal list for a long time, so that's why we're here. I hated the fact that I was consuming more than I'm creating, and I'm getting back to it. And it's fun. Gosh darn it, it's fun. It's fun to create because you're able to express yourself in ways that maybe words, if you aren't good at talking, can, or maybe even getting outside and expressing your body in a fitness setting can't. Maybe you're injured like I am. I strained my adductor a month ago now, slowly getting back to it, slowly starting to run again, slowly starting to lift again. In that time of being injured and not being able to do what I usually do with my body and go outside, get all the frustration out by going for a run or going for a lift, I couldn't. So I had to go and revert to other means, which for me is creativity. I like to look at myself, and I have always had the goal of being okay with being a jack of all trades and a master of none, and I feel like that's kind of what I am. So in this time of being injured, I got to pick up the guitar again. I started working on this freaking canvas. Look at this boy. Look at that thing. I started working on canvas again because I forgot that I was a freaking tattoo artist at one point in my life, and I still have all the tools to do so. I have a freaking stencil printer and gloves and ink and pencils and all this stuff that is just sitting around here because I got so comfortable in sitting down on my couch because I work from home and consuming everything instead of just freaking coming here and choosing to create, which is so much more fun than consuming. So if you get anything out of this video, which I have no idea what this is gonna be, I hope that you can hear this because I know that you've seen it before when you're sitting there scrolling and consuming on social media. I know that you've heard before, create more than you consume. And if you haven't heard that before, I'm telling you right now, go and create more than you consume in any way possible, any medium. Go and take some pictures, go and draw, go and read, go and write a song, go and pick up an instrument and learn how to play it, go and write a poem, whatever it is, go and create because it's gonna do so much more for you than sitting there and consuming and wishing that you could be where everybody else is because you're sitting there and wasting your time consuming and consuming and consuming. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm going to continue to create these videos and start this YouTube channel again and get so far away from what I posted before because that's not who I am. And the journey of this life and the point of this life is to get closer to who you want to be. And the way you do that is experimentation. It's running into failure. It's sprinting into your fears head on, whether that be speaking publicly or speaking privately to a camera, which is my fear. I've always been jealous of my girlfriend because she's so good at sitting down and she could yap her mouth off for 20 minutes straight while she's eating breakfast because she used to be a flight attendant and she used to talk about all these things about the job. And I loved watching her do that because she's so good at it. And I just sat there and I was like, ugh, I wish I could be good at that. And the only reason I wasn't good at that was because I didn't give it the time. I didn't give myself the chance to come and do this and fail through it and stumble through it and look at I'm doing it right now because I freaking tried, and that's all you have to do. So as I said before, I got injured about a month ago, ruptured or strained or whatever you call it to my adductor. So I had to take 2 weeks off, which is great because we got to go back and visit Alyssa's family for a couple weeks and spend some really good quality time with them. And I literally did nothing but just walk. So last week I got back into the gym. I reintroduced some lifting, which has been great. I'm doing a 3-day-a-week full body lifting program right now. I did it last week. I'm gonna finish off this week. And then next week, I have written out this 6-phase workout program that I'm so excited to start because I am so grateful that I'm able to go into the gym and lift 3 days a week right now, but it's pretty freaking depressing going into the gym and picking up a dumbbell that you would use as a warm-up and using that as a working set, because our bodies can adapt and get stronger so quickly, but being out of the gym for just 2 weeks will take you out further than you could even understand. Like, if the saying, use it or lose it, is so true, because all of my strength, not all of it, but majority of my strength is gone. I feel like a frail little boy in my body right now, but I can either choose to complain or I can choose to find a solution. So I'm finding a solution, and we're gonna get back into the gym. I ran my first mile earlier this week. I went from a month ago being able to run 10 to 15 miles a week while doing 2 sprint sessions throughout that week, while doing 2 leg days throughout that week. And now I'm back to just trying to run 1 mile. So you have to start somewhere, and nobody's gonna come and do the work for you. So let's get out there. Today, I'm running 1 mile on the treadmill. I'm gonna go do that right now. We only have this body for a limited amount of time, and you gotta learn how to push it and put it through the gutter and drag it through the mud, because if you don't, then life sure damn will, and the enemy will do everything that he can to make you believe that you're not good enough, you're not strong enough, and you're not going nowhere. And we gotta do everything that we can to not believe that, and to push him down under our heels and literally bruise our heels on his head and stomp him down back to where he belongs. Don't get distracted by the noise of this world, because he is in this world, the enemy is in this world, and he is here to kill, steal, and destroy every dream that God has planted in your brain. So let's get out there and make it happen. I think one of the biggest lessons that I've learned being injured, something that kind of reappeared a few times. One instance was we were driving and there was a homeless man asking for money on the side of the road. So I rolled out my window. I always try to make it a point to have a conversation instead of just throwing money at their face. And I asked how he's doing today. And he said, "You know, man, I can't complain. Mama always taught me that you could either find the time to complain or find the time to find a solution." A couple weeks later, we went to church and the pastor said, "Complaining is to the devil as worship is to the Lord." And that one hit me hard, because it can be so easy to be swallowed up by everything that happens and the thief of joy comparison and not being exactly where you want to be, and choosing to spend your time to complain about how everything has stolen it from you and how you're helpless. And that's exactly what the enemy wants you to do. He wants you to believe that you're nowhere near where you're supposed to be, and he wants you to believe that you're helpless and that God is far away from you, when that is the absolute opposite of the truth. So I made it a point throughout this healing process and the 2 weeks that I did absolutely nothing but walk, and I'm making it a point as I get back to what I used to be able to do and how I get frustrated with where I'm at, to stop and be grateful that I have a solution, that there is a plan of action in place, and that I'm taking steps toward where I want to be. So take that word with you. Complaining is to the devil as worship is to the Lord. And every time you complain, realize that you should not be feeding into those things that are dark and that are of the enemy, but move away from complaining and move towards speaking positively to yourself and to the plans that God has for you. So there's that. Moving into my plan of action for lifting. This next week I have 3 full body lifting days that incorporates trying to stiffen my tendons again, because I am preparing for body adaptations for sprinting, jumping, and endurance running, which is, for me, endurance running is gonna be like 3 to 5 miles, 3 to 6 miles at the most. Other than that, I would love to get back to squatting, benching, and deadlifting. I kind of took squatting and deadlifting out. I was focusing more on machine work, and I injured myself while I was doing some Bulgarian split squats on a Smith machine, which makes sense because I was doing some single leg work, but I tried to hone in on that in order to increase my strength with sprinting and running. Just a lot of single leg work, because that's what running is. It's just repetition after repetition of single leg pushing off of one leg. So I tried to put that in, and my ego got in front of me, and I just popped my adductor when I was in the deepest part of the stretch. So coming back slowly, and after the 3 days of full body lifting for this next week, since I already did 1 week of it, that's just to get my body reacclimated to moving some weight again. I will slowly start getting into some squatting, deadlifting, and even incorporating some power cleans for some power work. So I'm excited for that. Rehab for my adductor kind of looks like iso holds and pulses and hip thrusts before any kind of leg movement. So I'm making sure that I'm getting that activation into my adductor when I'm doing movements that don't involve it, like leg extensions or hamstring curls. I want to make sure that I'm getting some kind of adductor activation in there, because before I get to a compound lift that's going to include my adductor and a bunch of other muscles like a barbell back squat. So that's why I'm doing that. Yeah, man, I'm really excited to get back to pushing some real weight and seeing where I can take my body. Not only in the gym, but with my nutrition. I'm kind of trying to dial that in as well. I've been paying a lot more attention to that, weighing literally everything that I put in my body, not to be over obsessive about it, but to ensure that I'm doing everything possible to fuel my performance and look sick for this summer, to be honest. Because going into winter, I'm definitely going to work on putting some more mass onto my body, some more strength, maybe dial back some of the endurance. And I'm still trying to figure out what I want to put on the map for myself, because last December I ran a marathon, and I want to make it a point that every year I do one big thing that it makes me uncomfortable or pushes me to my limits or allows me to test my abilities. So still on the lookout for that. But anyways, thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. I'm excited to get back into this YouTube game, because it challenges me and it makes me uncomfortable. So that means it's worthwhile. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.